Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, a channel about making computer role-playing games using the free program Twine and the Sugarcube format for Twine. In this video, I would like to continue talking about my efforts to improve Beneath an Emerald Sky, the game that I made during the 30-day challenge. So we've been talking about my new method for generating attributes in the last couple of videos, and I'd like to continue doing that in this video. We've talked about how we roll the attributes, and how once we've done that, we call this other passage balance attributes, and how balance attributes asks whether y is not equal to 0. If that's the case, that means that we either have attributes that add up to too high an amount or too low an amount. If it's equal to 0, we have it where we want it. If it's not equal to 0, we adjust it. And we start by calling choose attribute. The first thing we do is we choose a random number between 1 and $W. W is the number of attributes. Normally we're just going to accept whichever attribute the computer randomly chooses, but there are a couple of cases where we won't. If y is greater than 0 and attribute underscore value x, in other words, the value of the attribute that we've randomly chosen, if that is greater than 17, then we include choose attribute. In other words, we go back to the top of this and start again. So why do we do that? Well, the range of attributes overall, they can only ever be 3 to 18 inclusive. And if y is greater than 0, that means that the total of the attributes that we currently have is too low, and we're going to increase an attribute. If this value is over 17, which can only be because it's 18, well, we don't want to increase it any further, so we've picked the wrong one to increase. This is the opposite of that. If y is less than 0 and attribute underscore value x is less than 4, we choose again. That's a case where we have an attribute that's equal to 3. Again, we don't want to lower below 3, just as we don't want to raise above 18. Now we have some more specific cases. If $CHAR is equal to 4, which means the character that we're talking about is the detective, and the attribute underscore name is charisma, in other words, we're talking about the charisma attribute, and if attribute underscore value is equal to 9, and y is less than 0, well, that creates a case where we're trying to lower the detective's charisma below 9, and we've set that as a minimum, so therefore we choose again. Similarly, the farmer, their stamina can't be lowered below 14, so if CHAR equals 2, which is the farmer, attribute underscore name x is equal to stamina, in other words, we're talking about the stamina attribute, and attribute underscore value x is equal to 14, the value of the attribute is 14, and y is less than 0, meaning we're trying to lower the attribute. That's no good. We choose again. And this is a similar one, except it's not that we can't lower it below a certain number, it's we can't raise it above a certain number. The gambler can't have willpower above 6. So if CHAR equals 1, attribute underscore name x is equal to willpower, and attribute underscore value x is equal to 6, and y is greater than 0. Then we start again. And finally, nobody's stamina can go below 8. So if attribute underscore name x is equal to stamina, and attribute underscore value x is equal to 8, and y is less than 0, choose the attribute again. So once we've chosen an attribute, what do we do? Well, we need to raise or lower it. If y is greater than 0, then reduce y by 1 and increase the relevant attribute value by 1. Otherwise, and if this isn't the case, then it must be that y is less than 0, because this code only executes if y is not equal to 0. So if that's not the case, then we do the opposite. We increase y instead of decreasing it, and we decrease the attribute value. And having done that, we then include balance attributes, meaning we go back to the top of the page and we say, well, is y now still not equal to 0? Okay, well, we need to do this all again. We're going to keep doing it until we get to 0, raising it if it's negative until it becomes 0, or lowering it if it's positive until it becomes 0. And once that procedure has finished, we will have balanced our attributes. In other words, we will have attributes that total up to the number that we want them to be, and we will know that that's the case because the y variable will be equal to 0. And that is how the new system for generating attributes works. That seems to be all I have time for today, so I will leave it there for now. I hope that was useful or interesting to at least some of you, and I hope you will tune in next time.